For centuries, the galaxy spun on in arrogant certainty. Empires rose and fell, cataloging the ruins of extinct species, erasing old ghosts from star maps. The Thalaxian Empire masters of charting and claiming the forgotten believed they had mapped every world, solved every mystery. Then, in the depths of the haunted Perseus Nebula, everything changed. Captain Celis Revic, known for her icy nerve, watched the void swirl through her viewport on the flagship Obsidian Dawn. Purple lightning crackled, illuminating nebula clouds that looked like the shadows of ancient titans. Her bridge was silent as the sensors screamed. A signal, faint but persistent, throbbed from within the storms. Analyze. She ordered. Her science officer, a cyborg named Vrel, stared at the data. It's impossible. Ancient Earth binary code. Human distress beacon. It's genuine, Captain. Estimated date of origin. 10,000 cycles past. A hush swept the bridge. The galaxy had long believed humanity scattered and gone, legends at best, nightmares at worst. To the Thalaxians, humans were War Stories' ancient conquerors, orphans of a ruined world. Celis felt a cold thrill. Plot a course. Take us in. The fleet advanced. Lightning played over halls as the ships pushed through violent gravity waves. Suddenly, the clouds parted, revealing a planet below, blue-green and wild, with continents tangled in jungle and silver glaciers crowning the poles. But it was what sat on those continents that stunned every crew member. Cities of titanic scale, towers and spires, domes gleaming through moss and mist, built in the unmistakable design of lost humanity. Scan for life, Celis whispered. Vrel hesitated. Hundreds of thousands, Captain, all human biosigns. Stable, healthy. They're thriving. The bridge became a tomb. Every officer, even the most seasoned, felt the weight of legends settling on their shoulders. Celis ordered the fleet into orbit. As shuttles prepped for landing, the story spread across Thalaxian space. Every channel, every outpost, buzzed with the impossible. A lost human colony, hidden from time itself. Old admirals whispered prayers. Scholars scoured forbidden texts. Some celebrated. Most trembled. Because if the stories were true, if the most stubborn, unpredictable, and dangerous race in galactic memory had survived, no one knew what would. Come next, the shuttle pierced the upper atmosphere, buffeted by wild winds and radiant auroras. Captain Celis and her hand-picked landing team sat in silence, each officer tense, gripping their harnesses as they descended into legend. The jungle swallowed them as they broke through the cloud. Layer-giant trees arched over rivers of blue. Water, their roots tangling through the ruins of a city half consumed by nature. Yet among the wildness, Celis saw order. Solar arrays blooming like alien flowers. Satellites drifting in lazy orbits. The unmistakable shimmer of energy shields, keeping ancient buildings whole. The shuttle touched down in what had once been a grand plaza. Cracked stone tiles bore faded markings, names in forgotten Terran script, battle honors, perhaps a roll call of heroes. In the center stood a monument, taller than the trees. A human woman carved from obsidian, holding a sleeping child to her heart. Sunlight danced on her face, making her look both proud and mournful. Celis stepped out, pulse racing. The air was heavy, thick with the scent of unfamiliar flowers and something else: ozone, metal, memory. Her squad fanned out, scanning for threats. Suddenly, holographic text shimmered in the air above the plaza. Welcome home. A voice, flat and perfect, echoed from hidden speakers. Identify yourselves. The squad froze. Celis took a step forward. We are explorers from the Thalaxian Empire. We come in peace. We seek knowledge. From the shadows beneath the monument, figures emerged, humans, tall and strong, clad in armor forged from a mix of ancient alloys and scavenged alien tech. Their weapons glowed with energy, but none were raised in anger. Their leader, a woman with a scar down her cheek and ancient medals on her chest, met Celis's gaze without flinching. "I am Commander Elena Reyes, Provisional Governor of Solace," she said, voice clear and full of old authority. "You trespass on sovereign territory. State your true purpose." Celis, refusing to be intimidated, nodded. "We thought humanity lost. We found your signal. We want to understand, how did you survive?" Reyes looked to her people and back to the newcomers. "We survived because we remembered who we were. When the stars turned cold, we endured. When famine and storms came, we rebuilt. We adapted, we fought, we learned. While the galaxy forgot us, we prepared for the day when someone would return." Celis saw the pride, the steel in the eyes of every human there. No defeat, no desperation, only resilience. Before she could respond, alarms blared across the human city. Drones buzzed overhead, scanning the newcomers. A huge screen flickered to life on the plaza wall, displaying images of Thalaxian, ships in orbit, and tactical diagrams of every weapon system aimed at the planet. Commander Reyes's face darkened. "Your fleet holds us at gunpoint. Is this how you come in peace?" Celis's cum crackled a warning from her ship. "Captain, multiple human defense satellites have activated. We're being scanned. Their tech is far more advanced than anything we expected." Reyes gave a grim smile. "You're not the first to find us, but you may be the last who tries to control us." Suddenly, the ground trembled, and ancient defense towers rose from beneath the plaza, humming with energy. And across the galaxy, those who watched realized whatever had been unleashed here, it would not be contained again. A deathly silence fell over the plaza as the ancient defense towers reached full height, their surfaces flickering with the eerie glow of energy shields. The Thalaxian soldiers tensed, hands hovering over sidearms, but Celis raised her hand, a signal not to fire. Across her visor, new readings scrolled in red. "Unknown weapon power output exceeds flagship main cannon. Commander Reyes didn't blink. We learned from everyone who came before you. We improved on what you left behind. Now you arrive, expecting us to kneel?" Celis forced herself to speak, her voice steady. "We're not here to conquer. The Assembly fears what it cannot explain. Show us you're not a threat, and perhaps you can join the stars as equals." A faint smile crossed Reyes's lips, a sad recognition. That's what they always say, until fear turns to fire. Suddenly, the plaza's main holofountain sprang to life. Dozens of projected faces appeared, elders, scientists, even children, broadcasting across the ruined city. All watched in tense silence as the two leaders stared each other down. The youngest among them, a girl no older than 10, stepped forward from the crowd. "My father said the stars were dangerous, but he also said hope could outlive fear. Are you here for hope or for war?" The question cut through the tension. Celis looked at the child, then at the ruined city, now alive with humanity's stubborn pride. She holstered her weapon and bowed her head. "We want to learn, to understand, and maybe to help." For a long moment, no one spoke. Reyes glanced at her advisors, then nodded. "You may enter our city, but your fleet stays above the clouds. Harm us, and the planet will defend itself. You have my word, Captain. If you truly come in peace, so will we." The tension eased, just a fraction. The ancient towers powered down, but their threat remained a silent promise. Should trust be betrayed. As Celis and her team were escorted deeper into the city, she could feel thousands of unseen eyes watching, judging, remembering, around every corner. Remnants of lost human greatness, vast halls, gardens overtaken by alien vines, streets where laughter and struggle once echoed now became the setting for history's next turning point. But above, In orbit, not everyone shared Celas's hope. Already, the Assembly's counselors were debating, frightened by the strength and independence of these forgotten humans. And deep beneath the city, something ancient stirred, a last safeguard, waiting for the day when humanity would need its final secret. The heart of the city, once called New Bastion, was unlike anything Celas had seen in her travels. Crystal spires rose into the sky, sheathed in living vines and old banners. Their colors faded, but symbols still defiant. Clenched fists, outstretched hands, a planet split by war and mended by unity. Reyes led the Thalaxian team through winding corridors, past classrooms where children studied not just history, but engineering and combat tactics. Past medbays with technology far beyond the assemblies, where robotic surgeons worked beside human doctors. Past archives filled with living holograms, ancestors who told their stories to anyone who'd listened. At the center, a great council chamber stood. Reyes gestured for Celas to sit. "You want to know how we survived?" she asked quietly. Celas nodded, her curiosity genuine. "The records say you were abandoned. How did you build all this?" Reyes stared at the ceiling, remembering. "We were forgotten after the Exodus. Famine, storms, wars, we lost billions, but we didn't give up. We formed new clans, new governments. Sometimes we fought. Sometimes we fell. But always we rebuilt. We found old technologies buried deep artificial suns, terraforming cores, memory banks from the first Earth. And when raiders came, or assembly scouts tried to enslave us, we fought back." She leaned in, her voice steel. "We became something new. Not the Earth you remember, but not broken either. We became what the galaxy feared, a united human will." Celas glanced around. "And now the Assembly wants to decide your fate again." Reyes's eyes flashed. "Let them come. We will not be erased twice." Outside, the city stirred. Galaxian teams wandered, documenting, trying to win trust, while human eyes followed, measuring every move. Tensions simmered. A minor skirmish at the power grid, a warning shot in a back alley. Each incident fed rumors in orbit, where military hawks argued for containment. But all the while, below the ancient city, engineers worked to awaken something older than any of them. A vault sealed at the dawn of isolation, humming now with new power. Something built to save humanity if all else failed. Celas, watching the city's children play beneath banners of stars, wondered if peace was possible, or if the Assembly would repeat history's oldest mistake, and in the depths, as old engines rumbled back to life, the planet itself seemed to whisper a warning to the cosmos. We survived the end of one world. We can survive anything. Asterisk news of the lost human colony spread through the Thalaxian fleet like wildfire. Orbiting warships, once silent observers, now bristled with tension. Some captains feared the humans. Others saw opportunity. Assembly. Command channels buzzed with heated debate. Neutralize the threat. Open diplomatic ties. Seize the technology. Every option felt like playing with fire. On the surface, Captain Celas tried to bridge the gap, meeting with Reyes and her council under the ancient dome of New Bastion. But suspicion lingered. Human scouts reported seeing Thalaxian drones near power conduits. Rumors spread of spies in the city, and old wounds, memories of betrayal and abandonment, bubbled to the surface among the colonists. That night, under the alien moons, Reyes walked the ruined plazas alone. She looked up at the sky, seeing the Assembly fleet, a line of starlit daggers, poised above her world. In her heart, she carried hope and dread in equal measure. Could they trust the galaxy that left them behind? Would they ever truly be free? Suddenly, klaxons shattered the silence. Defense grids flared, alerting to unauthorized movement. A group of Thalaxian marines had breached the vault beneath the city, desperate to steal whatever ancient power the humans guarded. They moved fast shadows in the underworld, planting charges to blast open the final door. But they never made it far. The vault's guardian systems awoke. Walls of light, drones as silent as ghosts, and ancient robotic sentinels, each bearing the old Earth insignia. The Marines were captured in moments, disarmed and held without harm. Reyes and Salas rushed to the vault, meeting in the heart of its entry. The standoff was tense. Reyes' people demanded the Marines be punished. Salas insisted it was a misunderstanding, but guilt clouded her words. Inside, the vault's doors slowly opened more, out of curiosity than threat. Within, a chamber bathed in cold blue light revealed humanity's final secret, a massive AI. Core, pulsing with life, surrounded by thousands of stasis pods. Inside each pod, volunteer engineers, soldiers, scientists ready to awaken at a moment's notice. We call it the Ark, Reyes explained quietly. If we ever faced extinction, they would awaken, bringing everything we needed to rebuild civilization, from scratch. Celis stared in awe. You were never alone. You always had a way back. Reyes nodded. And now the galaxy knows it. 2. Outside, the people of Solace gathered, watching the ancient vault glow against the night. For the first time, they realized their own legends were true. And as the Thalaxian fleet above debated what to do, the cosmos felt a new tremor, a ripple of destiny, awakening old fears and old hopes alike. The morning after the vault's opening, nothing was the same that the Thalaxian assembly, terrified of. What they had seen issued an ultimatum from orbit: relinquish control of the Ark and all human technology to Assembly authority, or face military action. Warships shifted into attack formation. Cannons aimed at the city below. Panic swept through Solace, but Reyes stood tall in the council chamber, her voice steady. We have survived the void, famine, and 1,000 storms. We will not bow out to anyone. Celis, torn between loyalty and justice, pleaded with her command. If you fire, you will start a war that will shake the stars. These people are not a threat unless you make them one. But fear ruled the assembly. Proceed as ordered, came the reply. Just as the first attack ships broke formation, the Ark activated. I sent a signal and unbreakable shield. Rose above new bastion, shimmering with energy older than the assembly itself. Defense satellites locked onto incoming threats, disabling their engines with pinpoint pulses. Across the planet, dormant tech came alive. Railguns, plasma fields, nanite swarms, all remnants of a civilization that refused to die. The Thalaxian attack stalled before it began. Pilots reported systems fried, targeting locked out. Within minutes, the entire fleet was helpless, suspended in orbit, unable to harm a single soul below. Reyes broadcast her message to the galaxy. This is Solace. We have awoken, and we will not surrender. Those who come in peace are welcome. Those who come with war in their hearts will find nothing but their own reflection, fearful and alone. Millions watched the live transmission. On worlds far from Solace, humans in hiding, hybrids, and even non-human species felt hope ignite. Some cheered, others plotted, but no one remained indifferent. In orbit, Celis received a final message from her superiors. Return home. The assembly will reconsider for now. As the fleet retreated, Reyes and her people celebrated, not with vengeance, but with unity. They had stood together, and the universe had witnessed the rebirth of a legend. Asterisk, the days that followed became the stuff of new legends. Delegates from forgotten colonies, independent star nations, and even cautious assembly members arrived at Solace, some to offer friendship, others to beg for secrets, a few to plot. But the people of Solace met them all with the same unwavering spirit. Open hands, watchful eyes, and the iron promise never to be erased again. Captain Salas, now an unofficial ambassador, remained on the surface, learning from the humans and Daden, sharing what she could with her own people. She watched as children studied both old and new histories, as engineers restored lost wonders, as farmers coaxed life from alien soil, all with the same stubborn hope that had carried them through the centuries. The Ark became a symbol of more than survival. It became a beacon. Across the stars, lost human enclaves responded to Salas's signal, and even non-human worlds sought alliance. The assembly, shaken, began to reform, no longer able to ignore the strength of those it once abandoned. But perhaps most importantly, the cosmos itself seemed to change. No longer was Solace a secret, hidden in the Perseus Nebula. It was a promise. No matter how much darkness falls, no matter how many times we are lost, humanity will find a way back. And when we return, we bring hope, fire, and the courage to stand together. As the sun set over the revived city, Reyes watched her people, no longer hidden, no longer afraid. Somewhere far beyond, other empires shuddered at what had been awakened. But on Solace, there was only peace, and the sure, unbreakable knowledge that this was not the end, but the beginning of a new era. For the first time in 10,000 years, humanity's voice echoed freely across the stars. And even the cosmos, in its ancient silence, remembered to shudder. Asterisk, asterisk,